Alright guys, we're in the bass boat by myself. I'm doing 4.3 against a pretty decent wind on this little lake, as you can see. Pretty good chop. I got over here to the side so that I can get out of the wind a little bit, but so that's currently what we're looking at, 4.2. Took this out the other day with a couple buddies. I think it was 2 other friends and a bunch of crap, and we got about 4.2, and it was pretty calm. It wasn't very windy, so it's doing about the same against the wind and everything as it was the other day. I'm a little disappointed at the 4.2. I was hoping for something like 5 or 6, but at the end of the day, 4.2 is still faster than my Old Town, and it's going against some pretty good wind here. First things first, I'm gonna fish this little dam right here. I've had pretty good luck here. I'm working my way out a little bit. Got the motor trimmed up in the back. Definitely just had another bite. Just below 65-degree water temp. Which means they should be pre-spawn or something. Should be getting ready to spawn. Daggum lily pads. Well, I completely just missed that hook set and fight and everything. I guess I forgot to hit record after I paused it earlier, but that's the first fish of the day right there. Decent little, like, 3/4 pound one. Caught him right up in those trees right there. And like I was saying off camera, because I didn't know I wasn't recording, was I'm fishing off the back of the boat right now, and I'm using the trolling motor remote from back here, which is way nicer than a hand steer or a foot steer. So I'm gonna let him go. First fish of the year for me. I haven't really been fishing but 2 or 3 times. I haven't had any luck yet. That's the first fish of the year. But what I'm doing is I'm working this shallow bank here, and I'm fishing off the back of the boat because of the way the wind's blowing. It's pushing the nose of the boat around, but it's spot locking from up there. I can still control it from spot lock and just control the motor in general from back here, which is way nicer than a foot or hand steer. So I've had a couple short strikes, and then I had caught that one. So that lets me know that this bait is working when it's, you know, rigged right. So it definitely lets me know this bait is working, which is good. I've missed a few fish, but I did catch one, and I am getting bites on this white chatterbait with the black and blue tail. So I'm gonna work this bank a little bit further. Look at that freaking dinosaur right there. I don't know if you guys can see that. That big blob right there is a gigantic snapping turtle. He's right there. So what you just watched was me taking the boat out for the first time by myself. And I'm gonna give you a walk around of it finished, because you didn't really get a chance to really see it finished in the video. I was just fishing off of it, doing a little test run, see how fast I could go with it, and just really seeing how it fished. But I'm gonna do a walk around of the boat. This is finished for now. I'll let you guys see a little walk around video, and I'll give you my thoughts on fishing off of it for the first time. All right, so here's the finished products here. We added the new jack. Obviously have the Minn Kota up here. I chose to go away from the transducer being on the motor just because it was a headache to get that routed up. So I ran it all the way to the back, which is fine. And we have the Garmin Striker 7 DV or CV, one of the two. think it's a DV, which is the old branding. It's still the same thing. So we got that up front. And then we have a Garmin EchoMap 7 SV. And I've had this for a while. This has been on basically all my kayaks here. And nice little docking station for a second boat, so I can transfer this between my kayak and this boat. Same with that one up there that goes on my wife's 106 Minn Kota. As you can see here, we added the tilt gauge. That's for the eDrive in the back. Here's the 8-power switch by Yak Power. This is actually starboard from my first Hobie Pro Angler mounting boards, because I swapped them out to the Deluxe with the track system on it and everything. So I had this laying around, so I cut out a new dash panel, I guess, and I added the Yak Power 8-button switch to that. This works awesome. Runs the bilge pump, aerator, all that stuff. Still got to get the lights wired up, but that's not a big deal. Coming back, it's obviously driven by a steering wheel, and they throttle. You got a key that goes in here. This is your electric tilt up and down, or electric trim. They call it tilt on the Minn Kota. And then here you have forward and reverse, just like a normal boat would, and it kind of locks in the neutral there. You can hear that click. And on here, it would display how much. Like it has a. Actually, I'll just show you guys real quick. Let me grab the key. Okay, so it does come with 2 keys. So just like anything else, any other boat throttle, you stick the key in, turn it. I don't know if you heard that click or not, but now you can see it says 99.9 run hours, and we have basically the fuel tank, which is our batteries and how they're looking. So we're at full, everything's charged up. If you look here, it says 100% throttle, and then it updates how many hours you can run at that, and then you drop the throttle back and it goes down, and it updates that. Hours depending on what your throttle is at and what your battery level's at. So it's pretty cool. I really like this. I will talk about one issue I have with it, but let's start here. I mean, this is like the junk drawer with spare parts and whistles and stuff like that. I did install new trim all the way around the boat. In the video, I didn't have this yet, but you can see right here, this is all new trim. Makes the console look a whole lot better. But let's get to the back of the boat back here. So we have our 6 batteries. I've thrown the life jackets and some paddles back here too. We also have our 2-bank charger and our 4-bank charger. Again, this is the electronics on the boat. This is the front trolling motor, and this is the eDrive in the back. The charging system works great with the plug in the back here. That is the eDrive. That's the plug in the back here. So let's get to that eDrive. And this is how we had to mount it here. So you got 4 bolts here. They want you to space them 2.5 inches apart, and we wanted it to rest really good on the transom so that not all the weight is being supported by these screws or these bolts. I think it turned out pretty good. Hooks right into the factory steering that this boat's had since that old 55 Yamaha. So that's good. It comes with this right here. It comes with the little steering arm. I don't know exactly what these are called, but it comes with that. It basically came with everything you need. Comes with the bolts. Comes with a pattern to drill the holes for the bolts. And it also comes with this bracket here. This little L bracket on the throttle. And it comes with a tilt gauge. You can also mount this flat, like on a skiff or a pontoon or whatever. You can mount it flat, and it has a bolt pattern for that too, so you can just mount it with these 4 holes that mount it to that bracket. There's our 2 transducers in the back. We did get the Leprechaun Magic put on, which it looks a whole lot better. It's still not perfect, but it's not chalky like it was. It's not as glossy as it should be, but it's not chalky either, so can't complain about that. We'll see how long it lasts. I'll give you guys an update. But this is the Minn Kota eDrive. It's a 2 horsepower. I think it's converted to like a 140 pound thrust if you do the math. But it's rated at 2 horsepower, as you can see right here. Got 2 horsepower, 48 volt system. And it's a pretty big motor. It's got electric tilt, which is nice. And it's got a stainless steel prop, which is also nice. Electric charging system right there. But let's talk about the performance of the eDrive, because this is kind of where I got disappointed in a little bit. It says it'll push a full-size pontoon 5 miles per hour. This is lighter than a full-size pontoon boat, so I was expecting a little bit better performance. However, when I went out solo I had quit recording, but I was on my way back to the boat ramp, and I just had it. I was the only person on the lake. I had it at full throttle, and I was going like 4.2. And I was like, man, this just isn't right. I had the wind to my back and everything. So what I did is I hopped up out of this seat, and I walked up here to the front deck, and I had my fish finder on right here, and I could see the speed. So I just crouched down right here with, the trolling motor faced forward at full throttle. Where I was getting 4.2 sitting back there, I was now almost at 6 miles an hour in no time, which tells me that there is too much weight in the back of this boat. There is 6 lead acid batteries in the back of this boat. So these 6 lead acid batteries are part of the problem, because the boat is sitting up like this, and the flatter it gets, the faster it goes. So, I mean, we're going to run it like it is for now, but when we get into it this winter, I think we're definitely going to extend this front deck up here. We may move the batteries up here and make this like a storage compartment. We really wanted to have this for tackle storage up front. When I'm fishing with people, I'll just tell them to sit up there if we're trying to get somewhere fast. And that should give us like 5 or 6 miles per hour, which I think is probably going to be the max for this boat with that 2 horsepower. Again, I'm fine with the 4.2. I was just expecting at least 5 or 6. And I think 5 or 6 is what we're going to end up getting. But yeah, it could have performed better, but I'm still happy with it. It's still fast as my kayaks, and realistically, most of our lakes that we're fishing are 250 acres and smaller. So that lake that you saw me on was only 81 acres. We have another local lake that's like 10 minutes from here that's 60 some acres. Most of them are between that 50 and 250 around here anyway. And I think this is plenty, especially when you put 2 friends up here and get the boat leveled out, you'll be fine. It beats kayaking with friends, because when you're kayaking by yourself, it's not so bad. Or if you have a kayak trailer, it's not so bad. But that's my kayak trailer, and I don't really want to use that every time me and my buddies want to go fishing. This works great. 3 of us can fish off of 1 person in the middle on the back deck, 1 on the front deck. And it works fine. So we're enjoying it. Hopefully some more adventures to come off of this. And when I'm riding solo, I'll probably stick to kayaking. Although I'm still fishing from this solo a little bit, just to get a feel for the boat and really test it out and see what I can do and see how it fishes and all that stuff. But again, most of the time I'm going to be fishing from my old town, especially when we go to the Outer Banks here in a little bit. like a month or so. And hopefully you guys get to see some saltwater videos of that. Anyway, this is the electric converted bass boat for now. Phase 1 is done. Phase 2 is going to start next winter when we start ripping up all the carpet, adding to that front deck area and everything. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you want to see more and more on kayak fishing. But that's all I got for you today. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.